Imagine if Amazon stopped delivering overnight. No more 2-day shipping, no more random impulse buys at 3 a.m. Chaos, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to ancient Egypt when the kingdom of Punt disappeared. For over 1,000 years, Punt was Egypt's ultimate supplier: gold, incense, myrrh, exotic animals, rare wood, you name it. The Egyptians loved it so much they called it the land of the gods and sent massive trade expeditions just to get their hands on its riches. And yet, we have no idea where it was. No ruins, no cities, no maps. Punt just vanished. So where was it? Somalia, Sudan, Yemen? Did aliens take it? And why did this kingdom, once so essential to Egypt, disappear as if it never existed? It was a time of gold, spices, and extreme geographical confusion, and things were about to get really weird. Welcome to Infinitia Verity, where history gets the Hollywood blockbuster treatment. Today, we're unraveling one of the world's greatest lost civilizations, the mysterious kingdom of Punt. Let's go! The Egyptians thought Punt was so sacred that they called it the land of the gods, probably history's first 5-star Yelp review. The first ever international trade agreement, Egypt and Punt, take that, modern free trade deals. Punt exported baboons, leopards, and live giraffes, basically running the world's first exotic pet shop. Our story begins around 2500 BCE, deep in ancient Egypt's golden age. The pharaohs had everything: pyramids, treasure, the world's first written tax complaints, but one thing they desperately needed was Punt's exotic goods. Punt wasn't just a random trade partner, it was the VIP section of the ancient world. It provided gold, the ancient flex of wealth, myrrh and frankincense, essential for temples, burials, and making pharaohs smell fancy, and rare animals because owning a pet giraffe was the ultimate status symbol. But here's the kicker. Unlike Egypt, Punt left no ruins, no written language, and no clear records of its location. It's like they thrived for centuries and then hit Q plus Z on their entire civilization. For centuries, scholars have been playing history's most frustrating game of Where's Waldo, trying to find Punt. Somalia and Eritrea, this area matches Egyptian descriptions, and myrrh trees still grow there today. Sudan and Ethiopia, known for gold and exotic wildlife just like Punt. Yemen and Oman, rich in incense with strong trade links to Egypt. A lost civilization? Some believe Punt disappeared due to climate change, war, or shifting trade routes. So the Egyptians definitely visited Punt, but apparently nobody thought to leave behind an ancient GPS. Egyptian god Osiris was believed to have come from Punt. Talk about VIP origins. Puntites lived in round huts on stilts, meaning their region was prone to floods. Ancient Egyptian carvings show Puntite rulers wearing heavy jewelry. Apparently bling was a status symbol even back then. Imagine living in Egypt. It's hot, dry, and full of sand. Now imagine hearing about a faraway paradise filled with gold, lush trees, and exotic animals no one had ever seen before. Yeah, that's why every pharaoh wanted a piece of Punt. Gold? Punt had it. Incense and myrrh, needed for temples, perfumes, and keeping mummies from smelling bad. Exotic animals? Owning a pet baboon was like the ancient equivalent of driving a Lamborghini. Egyptian records show multiple expeditions to Punt, but the most famous was led by Queen Hatshepsut around 1490 BCE. Hatshepsut wasn't just any ruler. She was one of the greatest female pharaohs in history. Instead of waging wars, she launched Egypt's biggest shopping spree in Punt. And when her fleet returned, they brought gold, incense, and ebony, leopards, baboons, and giraffes. How did they fit those on boats? Live myrrh trees, which were planted at her temple in Deir el-Bahari. It was such a flex that she had the entire journey carved into stone, just in case anyone forgot. Hatshepsut's carvings show the first known depiction of a giraffe in Egyptian history. Punt's houses were built on stilts, meaning they lived near rivers or swamps. Some scholars think Punt's queen may have had a trade alliance with Egypt. Now, if there's one event that made Punt legendary, it was Hatshepsut's grand expedition in 1490 BCE. Hatshepsut wasn't just any pharaoh. She was a trailblazing female ruler who decided, forget war, let's go shopping. And by shopping, I mean one of the largest trade expeditions in Egyptian history. She sent a massive fleet of ships down the Red Sea loaded with Egyptian goods. But what they brought back? Absolute treasure. Here's what Hatshepsut's fleet returned with: gold, incense, and ebony, the ancient equivalent of designer goods. Leopards, baboons, and even giraffes. Imagine trying to fit that on a boat. Live myrrh trees uprooted and transported back to Egypt. Rare woods used for temples, palaces, and fancy furniture. It was such a flex that Hatshepsut had the entire journey carved into her mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahari. Today, those carvings are our best evidence of what Punt looked like. The carvings show lush green landscapes, suggesting a land rich in rivers and forests. Thatched roof houses on stilts, meaning they live near water, like flood zones or coastal areas. Puntite rulers wearing heavy jewelry and elaborate clothing, indicating wealth. The Queen of Punt is also depicted as having an unusual body shape, leading some historians to speculate about genetic conditions, royal obesity, or just exaggerated artwork. Regardless, Punt was a thriving kingdom with advanced trade and wealth. So, what happened to it? 1 minute, Punt was Egypt's top trading partner, and the next, gone. Some believe Punt was hit by droughts or shifting river patterns, making trade impossible. Egypt may have found new suppliers in the Mediterranean or lost interest in long sea voyages. Wars, economic struggles, or political collapse could have ended its dominance. One thing is clear, Punt didn't just vanish overnight. It slowly faded from Egyptian records until one day it was just forgotten. Hatshepsut's carvings are the earliest known depiction of a giraffe in Egyptian history. The Egyptians considered Punt so holy that they claimed some of their gods were born there. No ruins of Punt have ever been found, making it one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in history. So did Punt truly vanish, or was it just forgotten? Some scholars believe Punt evolved into later African and Arabian civilizations. Others think the Egyptians simply stopped recording trade with them. Even though we don't know exactly where it was, we do know Punt shaped Egypt's economy, religion, and culture. The incense and myrrh used in Egyptian temples came from Punt for centuries. Punt was Egypt's most important trade partner before they expanded into the Mediterranean. The idea of foreign trade expeditions became a tradition in Egyptian rule. Even today, archaeologists are still searching for clues to pinpoint the lost land of the gods. And that's the mysterious kingdom of Punt. We started with a land of gold and giraffes, explored Egypt's obsession, and ended with one of history's greatest missing civilizations. Punt was Egypt's ultimate trade partner, supplying gold, incense, and exotic animals. Egypt sent huge expeditions, with Hatshepsut's voyage being the most famous. No ruins have ever been found, and its exact location remains a mystery. Who knew that baboons, perfume, and scented trees could shape an empire? What do you think happened to Punt? Was it in Somalia, Ethiopia, or Arabia? Drop your theory in the comments. And if you loved this deep dive into ancient mysteries, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next wild